Mr. Wu, for what purpose?
Would the gentleman yield for questions?
Gentlemen, yield for questions.
Sure.
He yields for questions.
Dr. Oliverson, in this Senate amendment to this bill, they also added provisions saying that they may not, blanketly not issue provisional licenses to any citizen, so basically any immigrant from China, Iran, Russia, North Korea, or to a citizen on ITR country, Belarus, Burma, China, Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Syria, Venezuela, correct?
That is my understanding, yes.
Yeah. What is the rationale of that?
The rationale with that was to make sure that this statute wasn't conflicting with other statutes which this chamber passed.
What statute would it conflict with based on those provisions?
Well, I think the concern was that it would conflict with House Bill 17.
House Bill 17 is about House Bill 17 or Senate Bill 17?
Or Senate Bill 17.
17 is about the purchase of property. Has nothing to do with employment, nothing to do with medical licenses or anything.
Sure.
So why does it need to comply with House Bill 17?
Well, because that is essentially, that was an issue that was very, very important to the Senate.
And just to be clear, and again, you're not a member of the Senate.
Again, I just want to be clear. I think what we're trying to do is recruit additional physicians that may be capable of and trained to practice medicine, and we'll take anybody we can get.
Sure,
sir. I wish that
I know we say that. I mean, again, like
correct. So again, it's not about a pathway to citizenship or some kind of issue. What we're trying to do is open the door for doctors that were trained abroad to be able to practice here, and this was a reasonable box that the Senate said, well, we want these restrictions. I didn't want to jeopardize the whole bill and lose out on the ability to bring in foreign trained doctors from anywhere so that we get into a knockdown, drag-out fight about this.
And, because kind of my concern is, like, my cousin, who is now a ophthalmological surgeon, I don't know what you call that, she was a doctor in China. She was a surgeon in China first, and then came here and was provisional and did her license and did her everything here, and then became a U.S. licensed doctor. That she would now be banned if she had come after this bill.
I potentially.
And that potentially could be hundreds of thousands of doctors.
But potentially, if this program didn't exist, she wouldn't be coming over here anyway.
But again, the program existing and then cutting out a significant portion of people.
Respectfully, I think the decision tree here is whether you want anybody to be able to come over and use their skills to help address healthcare shortages we have in this state, or you don't unless it's open to all countries around the world, because that's sort of the decision point that we have before us.
I'm just curious because I know on SB 17 the argument was that people buying a house or people buying a business might somehow be a threat to national security and threat to state security. What is the threat of somebody who's coming over and practicing and being a doctor and healing the sick?
Representative, I'm not advised. I'm trying to get as many licensed physicians who can prove that they had graduate medical training and that they are capable of practicing at the same level as our U.S. trained physicians from as many places as we can get them. And this was part of a very sticky negotiation. We worked very hard with the Senate to come up with this version. There were days where we felt like this bill probably we're not going to pass at all.
And you're accepting this reluctantly?
I am accepting this reluctantly, but I would rather that we get this done than get nothing done. And I think that there are many, 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 many countries where doctors will now be able to come and prove that they have the same level as training as our American doctors, and they will be able to help with healthcare shortages. And that's, at the end of the day, what this bill is not about countries. It's about addressing healthcare shortages. Well, you're making it about that. But
I didn't write this bill. And Dr. Oliverson, let me retract that. I very much respect and appreciate the work you've done on this, and I'm not angry at you. I think this is a very good bill that's been hijacked, and this bill now sets up a very dangerous precedent where we're interjecting global politics into something that is very vital to our well-being and safety.
Well, I appreciate your perspective, and I think my perspective is that this was the compromise we were able to obtain, and I did not want to lose the
appreciate
whole opportunity just over this. So
Thank you.
I appreciate you. Thank you. Mr. Speaker, I move that the House concur with Senate amendments.